Alright, can you guys hear me now? Let me know if audio is working. Can you guys hear me? Alright, I think the audience, it's not the audio, sorry, the audio is fine now. I'm not in this trade yet, by the way. I'm just kind of putting it out there. It's kind of what I'm looking at. So we're on gold right now. I'll let you guys know when I get into any, if and when I get into any trades. I want to say this is not financial advice, right? Goes without saying. Just whatever you do, know that there's risks. I'm doing my own thing here, and I'm just happy to share. Yeah. But right now, here's what I'm looking at, right? We had this big move all the way during London. Then London decided to just chop around and range. And then we started New York over here. Right before it, we had a nice little liquidity sweep of the lows over here. And now we have these highs that I'm kind of watching as my targets, right? So what I'm seeing is this is trending. The only reason I haven't taken this trade, so this is a trade that I would have taken. I haven't taken it because I lost the previous one. And I kind of got I rushed in a little bit. I think that was this candle over here on this candle closure. Yeah, it was a little early before the New York session. But we got the sweep. We got a nice little reaction. And it is off a higher time frame level. So if I go to the 1 hour, we have this fair value gap right here. This one. Right, so that's fair value gap. Price came back in. And usually when I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame, it's the 5 minute that I really want to see a reaction. Normally I would have taken this. I'm hesitant right now for the two reasons. Well, for the first reason is that I lost that first one, so I want to be patient. And the second reason is that there's just too much chop for me to be confident taking this right now, right? There isn't enough displacement yet. So, yeah, this is just kind of there as what I would have taken on a normal day, but there's a lot of chop over here. So I'm gonna kind of let price develop a little more. I mean, look, it can go to this target, and I would have missed out. But if it does break up above these highs, and it stays there, then I'm thinking it's gonna go take out these highs as well, right? So it's really possible. So I'm not too worried if if this suddenly goes up here and hits my target. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for now. And you see, there's just so much chop, man. This is why I'm not confident entering this trade just yet. We had this one as well, this little engulfing, right? But that one was a little too big, and it was also the first one. So I wanted to see a structure shift. I think the real move, yeah, there you go. This would have been a stop out, so I'm glad I didn't take that. What would be nice is if we could actually get a price close above this high. Right, that would be the first official higher high. Lee, if you're talking about the gap that we left open when we started the day, like this gap over here, so like this one. So normally, yes, like I lean towards price going back down there to fill those gaps. But I think we've seen plenty of times over this entire run up before this dump 3 weeks ago, right? There were so many gaps that were left open. You can see it over here. You can see it over here, and really even over here, right? And so when you've got gold pumping like this for fundamental reasons, I mean, this obviously isn't nearly as crazy a pump, but there is a fundamental reason for the rise up and the gap higher to start this week, right? But when you see gold making moves like this, I've learned the hard way, sadly, by missing out a ton, that those gaps don't always get filled right away, right? We continue to push. And I think it's maybe because everybody's expecting it to get filled, and it's not until like later where it comes down to fill it. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, like I want to see, like, it would be nice if we got a price close above this high. If we got that with an engulfing, that would be a much safer trade for me to take. And like I said, I am being more conservative today just because that first one was a loss. In hindsight, shouldn't have taken it. I've already journaled it, but you know, there's just too much chop going on here. Yeah. So, but this is what I'm looking for right now. I wanna see these highs get taken out, right? And if we get a close above this, that would be really nice. So that's what I'm thinking for gold right now. But I really want to get in on a long if we get a good opportunity here. Euro honestly had one of the worst starts that I've ever seen. It's down like 1%. Yeah, that crazy gap and just a move lower. I think GU was worse actually for 1 point. Yeah, you see that GU got bought up. Look, there is something I want to say about GU, right? We are bouncing off a monthly fair value gap. So this is a little choppy, but if you look here, so let's this is one of the pairs that I have my eye on. Like if I had to pick between GU and EU, I think GU, even though we had a bigger move lower, I think it was down over 1% earlier today. The reason why I think EU is better is because there's a clear trend. We had this move higher, right, all throughout last year. This was not really a range. We put in a higher low, and then we left behind this fair value gap, which we're kind of tapping into right now. So if we can start respecting this fair value gap on the daily time frame, keep in mind we also have an inverse fair value gap over here, right? This guy. So if we can respect this level on the daily time frame, it's gonna be like a really, really nice long, in my opinion. And for this entire leg, I also think we're on a discount right now. Yeah, we're back inside the discount zone. So this is definitely like a pair I have my eyes on. But hey, last week I said that about Australian dollar, right? And it's been so choppy, all because of the uncertainty. It's, oh my god, this is just disgusting, right? You look at this price action, it's horrible, right? So we had such clean movement, and then basically for the second half of February, we're just moving sideways like this. It's just horrible. And then now you come in with all the stuff going on in Iran, and dollar just strengthens like crazy with a gap higher. Lee, what time frame do I wait for the close? Well, look, if I'm trading the 5-minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame level, so in this case, this fair value gap is drawn from the 1 hour. I usually want to see at least a 5-minute close. That's a good level for me to watch. But yeah, like normally in the Telegram, I'm saying, okay, I'm waiting for an engulfing. I don't really talk too much about structure shift, but you got to realize that when you've got choppy price action like this, you'd rather be safe than sorry. At least for me, right? So one of the hardest things, and I'm gonna be upfront here. One of the hardest things, right? When I started this Telegram, right? It wasn't like I don't really. Like it's not for signals, it's not for any of that. I just wanted to post my trades for myself. It was more like I started it for a journal, but I decided to share it with some close friends 2-3 years ago, and then I made it open to everybody, and people started joining. And now the main reason I'm telling people, hey, feel free to join, is because I am trying to build a little bit of a community where we can all share our trades and our setups and knowledge in general. But one of the pressures that comes with it is that most people who come into trading don't have patience. So when you're running a channel like that or a group like that, and you don't post a trade and you try to be conservative, people are gonna look at you and be like, man, come on, what the hell are you doing? Like, why aren't you posting anything? But and I guess that's one of the downsides, right? That you feel like, oh man, I gotta post something, otherwise there's gonna be nothing on there. But I'm still trying to find that balance as well, so it's just, yeah, sometimes I don't want to take a trade because I'm like, man, price action is just too crappy. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm obligated to post something on the channel. But yeah, I think most of the best traders that I've seen, man, they just know how to sit back and let the setups come to them, even if it means taking one trade a week. And I think that's really what's different. You can have a really good run for 1 week or 1 month. That's not going to make you a good trader. If you're rushing the process and not managing your risk, you are going to blow your account eventually. And I know that because I've done that plenty of times. But, yeah, like, this is just me speaking out loud, of the struggles sometimes of finding that balance. But you see this, like why would you want to, I feel like people coming into this, they're thinking, what's the trade here, right? And I want to tell them, well, look at this price action. Do you really want to take a trade here, though? There's no, yeah, maybe you win by luck or whatever, or maybe you figured out a way to beat the chop. I haven't. I wouldn't want to trade this. It's just low probability conditions, right? So if we can start trending from this level, then I want to take my trade. So a close up above this level, like I mentioned, where there's displacement, where I feel like, okay, price is showing me that it wants to break out of this chop and it's ready to go attack liquidity, maybe here. This is a really close one though, but maybe up here all the way even, right? Then I'm like, okay, now I'm more inclined to wanting to be part of that move. So, sometimes patience really is the name of the game. But yeah, I personally, I don't want to see, well, this is just super choppy. We had this swing high from earlier today. It would also be nice if we can get a close above that on this 1 hour candle, right? We got about 45 seconds left. So I mean, let's just see, I guess, how this is going to play out. But if we can get an engulfing, oh man, I really want to see this price close above the high that I mentioned. But yeah, you can tell patience is the name of the game. So usually the ones who are impatient blow your account. They're going to blow their accounts. This is not always going to be a get rich quick thing. We'll see. I mean, there you go. This is a really nice change in the state of delivery, right? We closed over these two down close candles. I just want to be extra cautious with this whole thing. But you ask me right now, I don't think we go down to these lows again. I think not until we've taken out this high. So yeah, like I think we're gonna go higher. We're gonna take these highs out. WTI, what are my thoughts on that? It's funny, I got a call earlier today. Let me actually open up the charts, but I got a call earlier today from a friend, and they were asking, hey, should I invest in oil right now? And I'm just like, I feel like this is such a high risk, high reward thing at the moment. Yeah, look at that gap, man. So like high risk, high reward in the sense that, okay, I mean, with the trend on a TA level, I mean, it just looks like we're on the buy side of the curve, right? We've maybe come down. We're now going to move higher, maybe even up to these highs. But that gap, that's not really something I want to be part of, even if it's in the same direction as my bias, right? Because I think it's not so much, and correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, guys. Like, if you guys know more, please let me know. But my thought process about this gap isn't necessarily that, we have, it isn't the bombs and the stuff going on in the Middle East. I mean, it is, but I think it's more that they closed the strait, right? Or that was the plan. They had that route. I forget what it's called, but that being closed more than Iran being bombed or attacked by the U.S. per se is responsible for this gap. And I feel like the moment they open that up, or they figure out a solution to that where it's no longer in jeopardy, I think this is just gonna kind of come back down. So it's high risk, high reward, but yeah, the longer it takes to settle that, not so much the attack on Iran, but that channel that they talked about closing or have closed, the longer that goes on, I think this continues to go higher. Right? But I don't know, I might be wrong. That's just, I think I think we all know that this is not TA. This is just a fundamental thing right now that's pushed it up here. But yeah, like, if I had not seen this, I would have thought anyway that this high was next, $70, and then up here, 75. But let's kind of go back here to gold. Let's see what's going on. He's still waiting for a little bit of clarity. Like, honestly, right now, I would want to trade crosses over the major pairs. Oh wow, USD JPY. Let's kind of see, like, this was clear bullish. I think we got a nice trade last week on this pair. Yeah, we had a nice trade on this pair last week, right? This was this Thursday? No, this was Thursday. Gap started. Since 5. Trend's been higher. Price comes back down. Take a look at this, right? We break this resistance. And by the way, let me know if the guys, like, I remember last week, before I was gonna do the webinar, someone had asked if I could do, oh, there it is. Gold's finally making its move, right? Yeah, I think we're gonna go. So we've already taken out this high. That one's probably coming up next. But I remember last week, before I was gonna do the bias, the webinar on the bias, someone had asked to do SR levels. If you guys want to know how I mark my SR levels, like, let me know in the comments, just because I don't really want to go into it if you guys don't have that issue. So yeah, like, I got it open next to me, so if you got any questions, or if you want me to go over, share anything about how I go about stuff, just feel free to put it out there. Alright, so we did close up above this high. This was the high that I was talking about. I did just take a really conservative entry. By conservative, I mean I'm risking less because I already lost my initial trade. But my stop, my target is going to be, this was the TP1 that I was talking about. And then that's going to be the new highs. That's going to be my next target. My entry was on the closure of this candle just now while we were talking. And then my stops are below those lows. Below those highs. Alright, so this is kind of what I have. So I mentioned, yeah, I wanted to see a close up above these highs. That was what would give me a little more confidence. So let's see how this plays out. Yeah, my stop's at about 33.95. I don't want to see price really dip down below these wicks right here. You see that once? So this is why it's so helpful to stay a little patient, right? Because and this is a note to me too. I say a lot of things out loud. It's not directed at people. It's also directed at myself. This was still like we're still in the middle of chop over here. Now we come here. We've swept liquidity down here before the New York kill zone, right? We've got a small trend forming here, but I want to see that close above the high to really show some strength, right? And we finally got that, right? So that's like sometimes it just helps to stay patient instead of rushing into trades. We're just about coming into TP1. Yeah, I'll go over the SR. Let me just get ready to take off some of my position right here. So I did actually just take off a little bit just in case. Given price action today, I am definitely not inclined to be exposed for too long. So I did take out some of my position right here. I will share it in the Telegram, the the position that I took. I'll post it there a little later. But yeah, I've taken enough so that if it comes down here, I will break even. You see exactly what I mean. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is exactly why I just took profits. And there you go. All right, I stopped the rest out. So that was break even for me. That's exactly why we take like partials. So yes, it front ran my level, but I hope you guys were able to hear my thought process for exactly why I wanted to take it out. Given all of this chop, right? It's so much safer to pay yourself as a trader in gold. Just because it can be so manipulated sometimes, and in the New York session especially, things can get so volatile, right? So yeah, just bought right up. So I didn't want to put my stops down here. I think this would be a pretty natural place to put it as well. I don't want to put it down here because that would have made my stops a little too wide. Made my RR not as attractive for me. I mean, this is still a 1.8 R, right? It's a valid trade, but yeah, going off the 5 minute, I just don't want to see this blue zone violated. So I don't know if I see like a little reversal forming on the lower time frame, I might still take another entry. But for now, we're break even. Well, I am from that first trade. In the meantime, while this kind of does its thing, I guess I'll just talk a little bit about support and resistance, right? So I think I was on this chart just now, and how I identify it. But so here's like I think people underestimate how important the 4 areas of a candle are, right? If you just honestly mark out open, high, low, close, it is so helpful. Yeah, so I usually like to mark out support and resistance levels for gold, if we're specifically talking about gold, and in trends, right, in trending markets. So let's just say that this were like the price action that I was seeing on gold on the 30 minute or 1 hour or even the 4 hour time frame. I personally like marking the wicks, right? The wicks, you know, you call it order blocks, call it swing highs, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Potato. But at the end of the day, what works, right? And so if I have say a fair value gap that's kind of overlapping with a previous resistance level, right? So obviously, if price is moving higher, I'm looking for entries at a support level, right, where I believe that price is going to be supported. It's going to bounce from there, and where I can probably get a high RR long position. So if that's what I'm looking for, I want to figure out where to anticipate support being formed, basically. So resistance over here, price comes back down, forms a higher low. When price breaks it, now I want this swing high or resistance to basically flip into support. Right? So when price comes back down there, I want to see it be respected. I want to see it hold. Now add in the fact that we have a fair value gap that overlaps with that swing high or that previous resistance level, and I'm even more like keen on like that's an extra important level for me. Like that adds like it's confluence, right? That okay, this level might just hold, it might just be the level for entry. So I don't like fair value gaps on their own per se, and I mean I kind of like swing highs on its own, but I prefer it if I can have a fair value gap overlapping it, right? Then it just acts as better support and resistance level for me. This is especially true for gold. And then when price comes back down there to retest it, what I'm looking for now is, okay, is there an engulfing candle forming or whatnot, right? On the lower time frame. So if say this was the 1 hour, then again I'd go to the 5 minute, look for an engulfing candle to form over here and maybe a structure shift to then take my entry and be a little more confident about the trade, right? And that's exactly what I was looking for over here. This is a 1 hour level with that swing high, right? So when price came back down, I want to see, so this is getting really messy. Let me just get rid of some of this stuff. Right, okay. So when price broke up, we had this, I mean, yeah, the fair value gap was kind of a little bit under it, but you know, this was a level of interest for me, right? When price came down, this is the level I want to see respected, and then the way I determined that is by going down to the 5 minute. Now, unfortunately, this is the price action that we're getting on the 5 minute, right? But yeah, this is the level right now. That's, you know, I want to see this flip support, because it was 1 hour resistance up here, come down, we've gotten above it, but you can see how price is just chopping around it right now. So yeah, that's the general idea, right? So if I can give another example, we can just go to the daily chart and you'll see exactly what I mean. All right, so let's just take this. This works pretty well in trending markets. You see how over here this is like a swing high, or this is where price eventually stopped, and you see when price comes back down, that's the level. Now you could argue the same thing about this. This was a swing high, and you see how it was initially respected down here at this candle, right? Price comes back, retests it. Obviously we broke through and went there, but this was like a liquidity sweep, right? Going down below these lows, right? Then what's next? Well, this is the next swing high. Oops. Price comes back, retests it. That's what holds. All right, so it's just a quick way for me to identify, you know, key levels of interest. If we're in a trending market, it's very helpful to mark out highs and lows for your support and resistance levels where you can expect bounces and whatnot. With Bitcoin, I actually prefer using the opens and closes of the candle. So if anybody over here trades crypto, I'll show you what I mean. So if price comes all the way down here, for example, then that right there, right, that's a support level for me. Why? Because notice that that's where we made our low and then bounced, right? And I'm using the open of that candle as my support level right there. All right, same thing over here. This would be right, and because I'm on the weekly time frame, this is a weekly support and resistance level. So notice how this was resistance. Price came up, closed down. Price rejected here initially, right? So this is a resistance level. I keep my line at the open of the candle, and then that's where I expect price to come back and retest and hold support, right? So this is resistance flipped support. Same thing here, right? We come up, get rejected. This is now resistance. Price comes here, retests it before going back down. Right, so yeah, that's the general idea. I honestly, I don't want to overcomplicate it. And I also want to leave it a little open to interpretation, because depending on who you're asking, who you're talking to, they all probably have their own ways of finding support and resistance, right? It differs from people to person to person, from trader to trader. But for me, I just try to use the open, high, low, and close. I think it works pretty well, gives good reactions. You know, it's really not bad. Yeah. Yeah, see, that was just, we just dipped all the way down. Broke through this level that I really wanted to see hold. And see, but the lesson here, or hopefully that I'm trying to share, again, I'm just speaking out loud because it's for myself as well, is this is why you take profits, right? You want to protect yourself, especially with a pair that can be as manipulated and volatile as gold. So when I saw the reaction that I wanted, which was to close above this after this low was made, I took my trade. And yes, I was aiming for this high, but let's go down to the 1 minute and see what happened, right? When this candle was forming, that's when I kind of said it out loud. I'm going to take some profits right here. If I want, why do I want to take profits? Because you got to be mindful of the fact that when you've got a range like this, the first move out of the range can often be manipulation, right? This could have just, and this was like, you know, it was a liquidity sweep above these highs, right? So when you've got accumulation, manipulation, distribution, you know, this could have, we've got this range here. This could have been a manipulation, and price continues to chop, right? We had a manipulation down here, right? And then we just continue to chop. So be aware, like, you got to be aware of the context of when you're taking the trade, what kind of price action you're taking the trade in. This is not a trending market on the lower time frame right now. This is a choppy range. So yeah, that's why, like, I went down to the 1 minute time frame momentarily, and I was like, all right, let me take some profits. Set my stops to break. Sorry, I didn't move my stops. But I took enough profits so that when I do get stopped out, if I do get stopped out, it's at break even, worst case. Right, I've got no interest in entering this right now. Yeah, like, there's just, I don't know what I would want to see. Maybe even with 9:30 coming up, might even see, like, if price continues to chop, we could see price go back down to that low. I don't want to be part of a short trade right now, not yet. I would still preferably stay long, but for that, you know, for me to want to take a trade after the two trades that we already took today, I want to see a sweep down here, and then I want to see the reaction, right? And for those in the Telegram, you already know what I mean by reaction, right? This is a 1 hour level. I want to see like a 5 minute reaction and engulfing or shift in structure, something like that, right? That would be ideal. But it's also entirely possible where we just kind of, you know, this is a fake out, scare people out, stop them out, you know, go up, come down, scare them out, stop them out, like it just stopped me out. And then we just continue up from here. We just kind of grind up higher and go for those highs over here. How's NASDAQ looking? Oh, I've been saying this for the last like 3 weeks. I think I'm still leaning towards the lows getting taken out. I think Dow is actually gonna do it. So if I just go to the futures version, has it taken out? Yeah, okay, yeah, it did. So I had these equal lows marked out, and obviously I'm getting 10-minute delayed data because I'm not trading futures right now, and I don't have my account connected to this, but. Yeah, we basically opened up with a sweep below those lows right away for Dow. That was my target for the last couple of weeks to see those lows taken out. But yeah, I think we could go lower. Definitely, I think we could sweep some of these lows as well for Dow. All right, ES, yeah, ES. Probably looking for those lows as well. And I think I had I had this volume imbalance marked out from a couple of weeks ago. This is still my target for ES overall. Same with NQ, right? I want to see those lows swept. Yeah, this was the volume imbalance I had marked out for the longest time, and I kept saying it. This is the level I want to see respected on the daily time frame for NQ. I've said it in the last several live streams, and you see how last week price came up, but it's the same level. We just swept the local highs over here, but it's the same level. We got rejected and moved down. The reason I liked this so much was because, number one, we pushed up higher, swept these, and then we made that leg lower, right? So when you get that liquidity sweep and then a swift move lower, I'm expecting lows to get taken out, including that one. Now, in the process of forming this leg down, we left behind this volume imbalance, right? So it's kind of like, I mean, when I say kind of like a fair value gap, I don't mean it is a fair value gap, but it's an internal liquidity level, right? So when price retraces before going for those lows, those are like the levels that you want to keep an eye on for price to retrace into, right? And yeah, so that's one, and I think it's also in a premium. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry, it's at it is at a premium. So you see how when price comes back down from this leg, it enters a premium, right? And then it moves lower. So that's why this volume imbalance was just such an attractive level for me to be like, okay, I think we come up here, we go down. So yeah, for NQ, I still have no reason to believe that we're gonna go back up yet. I think we're gonna go for these lows over here. I kind of wish I saw this earlier to open New York. This would have been like perfect for me to go long during New York. I see this come down. We get a bullish engulfing, but I wouldn't have taken that, to be honest. I would have taken the one on the 30-minute more. Why? Because we broke up above these highs, right? So we form an engulfing compared to this candle. We're bouncing off a support level, which, well, expected support level. This is a previous resistance level. We're bouncing from it. We get an engulfing, and we break the previous high. So like this for me would have been such a lovely entry, right? And I'm targeting these highs. That's basically, yeah, the highs from 3 weeks ago. This one right here, right around the 4-hour time frame. It's where this lower leg started. So yeah, that's the next level that I would have targeted. I'm just mad at myself. I didn't really have an eye on it. I was caught up with some work. But again, it gives you, hopefully, at least for the ones who are in my Telegram and on here, to just kind of see my thought process. Hopefully it gives you a peek inside how I'm thinking when I want to take my trades, right? I'm marking out these levels. I'm waiting for price to come to it, and then I'm looking for a reaction off of it. Oh, gold already fully bounced back. Look at that. See, how do you, so let me, for those who are still here, let me ask you, like, how do you predict this? You don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just chop, right? Manipulation after manipulation. This is designed to stop traders out. Like, this, how do you predict this? If anybody knows, like tell me, because I would want to learn how to predict this. But when I see this, I'm thinking to myself, there's just no way to predict it. So I've kind of let that desire go. I'm gonna see this hold. We got to change in a state of delivery again. All right, looks like we're just gonna go for these highs next. This is just such a crappy move to stop me out and break me even, but it is what it is. How's silver doing through this? Oh, gee. This is... Yeah, silver is not doing as good. I'm gonna still post a trade recap on the Telegram though, with the screenshots and everything of the trade, just so you guys can see. Took partials, the rest broken, stopped, and the amount lost was equal to break even. What's going on in 1 minute time frame? Still waiting for an answer from somebody. Does anybody know how to predict this? Like, actually though. Yeah, Lee, exactly, man. If we could, we'd be on our private islands right now. Right? We would. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't even think we need to be able to predict it to live on a private island. Like, obviously I'm not there yet, right? But the reason I'm still here, like trying to figure this out to a certain extent, is because I don't think you need to be able to predict it to achieve that. I think if you have one model, like for me, the level that I'm at is, okay, I have a model, I know it's profitable, but it's not like gonna make me rich or anything. But it's nice. It's nice to just make a little extra and pay the bills, help pay the bills and whatnot, right? But obviously then the next step is, okay, now how do I scale, right? How do I find that model that actually helps me scale and does it on a super consistent basis where I'm earning, like making crazy payouts? But you know, I'm still figuring that out. And if you're in the Telegram, that's where I'm going to share my journey anyway, because it's that Telegram is just me sharing my journey with everybody, trying to figure it out. Right? It's just so that you guys can see a real picture of how it happens, because all these people online, you know, showing only their wins and not their losses, they're lying. Guarantee you, they're lying. They're making money off of, you know, scamming people instead of actually showing the reality of trading. So I think that's where I'm trying to just be a little different, right? I don't want to hide anything. I don't want to lie. I just want to be as transparent as possible with my journey. And if some people come into the Telegram expecting signals or trades every day, if they want to leave because they're disappointed, they're welcome to. It is what it is. By the way, is the stream breaking up for you guys? Is there an issue? Like, Man, I don't know why that's happening today. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Sorry about that, guys, if it keeps going back and forth. But all right, there we go. We just hit the first we just hit that first high that we had marked out. I'm not in the trade, by the way. Not at the moment. All right, so after those couple of trades that I talked about, I did not enter. Why? I just don't want to take it with this. The only entry that I would have wanted to take was, like I said, a sweep of the lows before then moving higher. That would have been nice for me. But, you know, if we don't get it, we don't get it. Yeah, still I gotta figure out why like some people are having an issue and some are not. I'm gonna, but in general though, I am gonna try to live stream more and just share more. I do have like I have my own work that I do, which is why like live streaming is sometimes tough. So, you know, I am trying to make a little more time for it just to get to know some of you guys better. I figure if I really want to build a community here, I also want to get to know who joins the Telegram, you know, kind of exchange ideas. I learn from you guys learn from me, you know. That's what I'm here for, right? I'm trying to figure my journey out too, like I said, and so I'm always willing to learn. Just the other day, I don't know what his real name is, but there's this dude on Telegram. His name's Seb, I think, and he was sharing with me an idea or something that he saw. You know, that was really kind of him. You know, telling me what worked for him. He just reached out to me. He's like, hey man, I wanted to share something that's been working for me, and I was really grateful just because I was like, yeah man, like I'm please, like, go for it, share it with me. I would love to, you know, try it out myself, back test it when I have the time, and you know, if it works, then great. You know, maybe I can make a model out of it. You know, so I guess that's you know, one of the goals, right? Just have a community and get to know some of the guys in there, and I think everybody's in it for the same reason, right? We're all trying to make a little extra money. Yeah, you see that again? We tap and we come all the way back down. It's just look at the 1 minute. It's just so crappy. This is, yeah, the definition of a choppy and manipulative day. Oh, it's just horrible. What are we gonna do? Just go back up and fill that wick, maybe? Who knows? Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to share, like, you know, any other charts you want me to look at. Be happy to do it. I got maybe about 10-15 more minutes before I call it. Crazy indeed, man. Crazy indeed. Has USD taken out the... Yeah, this is taking out the high yet. See, it looks like we just formed a higher low, an engulfing candle. But here's the risky thing, right? Like, I love that on a normal day. Like, I would, like, this is basically everything I want to set up, right? There's a trending market, form a higher low, engulfing, ready to make that next move. The issue is this is at such a premium right now, right? And I don't want to take a trade that's at such a premium. It's just like, it's so risky. It's so risky. Part of me wants to just open up a swing. Oh, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate you saying that, man. I just, like I said, I try to be as transparent as possible. I'm trying to just, I'm not trying to give anything fake out here. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I don't want to be like, there's enough of them, influencers out there. I'm not trying to be one, by the way, but there's enough of them who are just out there trying to scam people and not really giving a realistic picture. What do you mean by JPY basket, man? Do you mean like the yen futures in general? I know I was bearish on it because, I mean, what's the reason to be bullish on the yen anyway? Right, if we just look at this, let's go down to the monthly. Actually, go up to the monthly. I mean, there's no reason to be bullish on this as yet. Like, it's just lower and lower. I know there are reasons for why they're trying to devalue their currency, but this just keeps on getting weaker. Like, I don't know how much they want to devalue their currency, but we had this move like a month ago where, it was pretty nuts, to be honest. I thought we were going to end up going a little higher, but no, we just came back. And by the way, when it was talking about support resistance right here, right? You see how that previous swing low, that's your previous support, price breaks it, comes back up, retests it as resistance, right? But yeah, the yen has just been so weak. And so the way I want to choose my pair, right, to trade on Forex is I want to now find, on futures, I want to find a pair that is strong. And so, I mean, the yen, we just swept these lows. We're probably going to go make new lows because there's no reason to believe otherwise. But if I'm on futures, right now I'm going to look for a pair that's actually been showing strength. So, for example, I know the Australian dollar has been pretty strong recently, right? So when you find a pair like this that's strong, that's trending higher, and that has a clear draw higher, for me, it's these equal highs up here. Or even the New Zealand dollar was showing some strength for a while. Now, not so much, but I like, we're sweeping these lows. I want to see if there's a nice reaction here. Then my target for this is going to be new highs, new local highs up here, and then this high over here, right? So when you find, at least for me, when I find a pair that I feel is strong, not a pair, sorry, like a futures future asset, right? So over here, I feel like the New Zealand dollar, the Australian dollar, they're strong. The yen is weak. So when I go on Forex, that's the pair that I'm going to look to trade, right? I don't want like a neutral pair that's just moving sideways. Like over here, if we look at the dollar, this whole thing has just been sideways. And this is kind of why dollar pairs have not been fun to trade since, a while now, many months. It's been tough. I mean, sure, we've had some weeks like this. This was a clear trend lower. Then we got another move lower here. But, like, for the most part, this was exceptionally bad, right? But so if I go to Forex and I look for that AUD-JPY pair now, so like over here, right, you see how you get nicer, I mean, on the weekly, it's not that nice, but like it's a clean trend, right? And that's where you can look to find trending markets, when you pair a strong currency with a weak currency. And I learned that from Sir Pickle, credit where credit's due. It's not like he taught me how to see that. It wasn't a mentorship or anything. It was just me following his live streams, and I realized that was one of the things he did, and he was kind enough to share it. But that's one of them. If we look at this one's also, I think, this one's not as clean because, like we saw, the New Zealand dollar isn't as strong as the Australian dollar, right? So price action has not been as clean. But I think the Swiss franc JPY has also been pretty nice in general, right? You got your higher lows, higher highs. But yeah, AUD JPY, that's a pair that I've been watching, but just something always keeps coming up with the amount of uncertainty out there in the market. Yeah, but I hope that answers the question, Kelly. Bitcoin. This is honestly really painful for me, especially Solana. You know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping this whole thing is a big manipulation. That's what I'm really hoping. It's not like we haven't seen manipulations before, right? Price breaks a low and then just kind of hangs out there and manipulates. So this actually was one of my favorite examples. This move here. Let me get rid of the volume profile first. Whoa. Why is it not? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so like this right here, when we just kind of like break below a low, so we broke below these lows, and we just kind of hang out underneath it like this, right? Just sideways for weeks. This like is usually a clean sign of manipulation for me. I've noticed, like, if you see a low broken, you want to see price actually displace, right? You want to see price follow through. Maybe a quick retest and then a continuation. Like, you see how when price broke these lows, came back, retest, and then continues back down, right? Same thing with these lows. Price broke through it, a quick retest, and then back down. That's usually what you want to see, or at least what I want to see. But when it does this, goes down, comes back and retests, like for me, it's like, ah, man, now we're just moving sideways. There's no real follow through. Right, so if there's no follow through, then it's like, okay, it might be a manipulation. Maybe there's a chance of a manipulation there. So that's what I'm hoping this current move is. If we can kind of just stay below this low right here, kind of hang out over here, I feel like, okay, maybe there's a chance this is a manipulation. But maybe I'm just being hopeful because I am a little bit exposed here, right? Same thing with Solana, especially. I think my thing is starting to lag a little bit. Yeah, what's up, Kelly? Go ahead, just ask away. But yeah, to finish my thought, I'm just hoping price kind of moves sideways below these lows, and then we kind of reclaim it and go up. You know, but I'm not like I mean, I keep saying this, buy the dip, but if you think about it, crypto is down what, I don't know, over 50%. That's 50% from its all-time highs. I mean, Bitcoin highs were what, nearly 130. You know, where we went down to 59K. That was basically a 50% dip. Yes, I think there's a good chance Bitcoin goes lower. These lows I marked out a couple of weeks ago. That's one of the levels I'm watching. But you know, if you're deciding when should I buy crypto and you're waiting and like I'm waiting for, you know, an additional 5% drop after price has already dropped 50%, I gotta wonder, man, like, is that really a smart decision? Like, I feel like this is as good a time as any to start DCAing. You're already at a 50% discount. So Kelly, I love using the volume profile. I especially use it for crypto. I don't really use it for Forex or gold. There are many, like, the way I learned it was there are multiple ways that you can anchor it. I can use the other one. What is it called? Is it the VPVR? Well, I use the fixed range volume profile, but I think there's the other one, which is the visible range volume profile. That's the VRVP. So let me see if I can actually find it here. I think it comes under indicators. Yeah, no, my computer's lagging a lot right now. But that would be the one. Yeah. There you go, right? So this is like based on what we see. The volume profile just comes out based on what you see. So if I zoom out a little bit, that's going to change accordingly. There you go. So you see how all of that changed because I zoomed out. And so if I zoom in now, it's going to change up again. Let's give it a moment. Yeah, so there you go. It changes again, right? So it depends on what's visible right now. I don't use this as much. I tend to use the fixed range volume profile, and there's a couple different ways to anchor it. I'm not really going to go too in depth for how I use it. Geez, I got to clear this up at some point, but I'm not going to go too in depth to explain everything. But you can use it for trends. I liked it, like just now the one that I had marked out was basically the start of this uptrend, which basically started here and went all the way till here, right? So that's where I'm going to draw my volume profile. I can draw it for trends, and yeah, like those are going to be key levels for me. And just to kind of give you an example, so if I get rid of all these levels, I think this was the downtrend that I drew it for. It was from here to here. So when this uptrend formed, for me, this was wait, that's not it. I don't think it was this one. No, I think it was maybe the uptrend. Sorry, this was like over a year ago now, so I'm just trying to remember when I did it. But I think this was the uptrend. No, the volume profile was here. That's not right. Or was it this range over here? I'm gonna have to find it. I don't know. It might have been this range, but that I remember there was one for a trend. But no, there are times when I anchor it for an entire trend. So from top to bottom or bottom to top, right? And then there are times when I'm just at a range like this, and I'm looking at it from a range, right? So like this. If we look at this price action, let me go down to the daily. So if we look at this whole thing, actually this might be easier. So when price started moving sideways here, this was basically my range, right? So we basically started about here and then went till about here before we broke down. So I do use this, but the thing that I do want to mention about the volume profile is that you do have to periodically update it, right? So maybe price is only here right now, you know, in December 25, my volume profile would have only been, you know, till here. Those would be the levels. So as candles start to form, gotta drag this out to get the new levels, because the three levels, value area high, value area low, the point of control, they keep changing. Even the high volume nodes in the middle, they keep changing depending on more data coming in, right? So those are definitely levels to watch. But yeah, I anchor it both ways, whether it's in a trend or in a range. Like I'll have them open for both. Like I'll draw them out for both. With crypto, like the goal is, you know, finding levels where there's a lot of confluence, right? So whether it's Fibonacci, support and resistance, what else? Volume profile, right? Those things, like if you can find a level where a bunch of them are kind of coming together, that's confluence. Right now you're going to have an even more important level that you feel should hold as either a support or resistance. So yeah, I like to use a lot of tools for crypto, but I rarely do so in gold and Forex, because when I back tested it, it just doesn't seem to work as much for me. I just try to use some market structure, liquidity sweeps, some ICT PD arrays. You know, that's usually enough for me. Yeah, I don't feel like all the other stuff that I used to use with crypto, that I don't feel like I need to use it with this necessarily. All right, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, then I'm gonna head out. I think we've been here nearly an hour, more than an hour actually. So yeah, just if you guys got anything else you want me to go over, but this is just so disgusting. Price action for gold right now. Even the 1 hour is just, yeah, you see that, all those wicks. You see how the more you zoom out, like the cleaner it gets? And this is why sometimes, like, part of me is like, I'm gonna just open up a swing account and only take the higher time frame trades. Like, look for one trade a week, you know, take that and go from there. just because I wouldn't have to worry about all the intraday noise. Just not necessary anymore. You get days like this where it's just like, wait, what the hell is going on? All right, guys. Well, look, I really appreciate the ones who were here. Let's see. Yeah, man, Kelly, it's helpful. Like, it's one of my favorite ones to use now. I use it more than Fibs. Um, I really wish I had more time to backtest a lot of these some more. The thing is, I made it a point for myself that trading would never be my full-time thing again because it adds so much pressure. You just need to find a way to win trades, to pay your bills, to pay rent, to grocery shopping, all that. Unless you have a shit ton of money saved up, which I don't, right? I'm also just getting started out. Like, I just started out a few years ago. So when I began trading and I made it my full-time thing, I just could never, for the life of me, win because I was always forcing my way into trades when really it's the patient ones who find, you know, winning trades the most. So I made it a point for myself that this was not going to be my main thing, and I was going to do something else, and this was just going to be extra, and because I enjoy it. And because I've got other stuff going on, it's sometimes so hard to find time to backtest different indicators off of. I hope that was helpful. And yeah, I will try to live stream. More, just to kind of continue to share ideas and maybe just take trades with you guys.